What's your personality type? And how does it affect your cat? I'm so excited that you're in this class. You're going to learn some really cool things about what your personality type is and how it sort of manifests itself with being a cat parent. This class is going to benefit you because you'll explore the characteristics of cat lovers. You're going to find your temperament type if you don't know it already, and you're going to learn how it relates to your cats. And last but not least, you're going to get a personalized tips for enhancing your cat's life based on your type. In 2009, a study tried to differentiate dog lovers from cat lovers. And here are some characteristics that they concluded about cat lovers. Cat lovers prefer solitude, and they're a little bit more introverted than other types. And they're more likely to live alone. Cat lovers are really smart. They're highly intelligent, and they have extremely good intuition, kind of like a cat. This one was interesting. They said that cat lovers were curious and open-minded. And the way they defined that was they said that cat lovers are curious and keep an open mind about music, about art, emotions, adventure, and imagination. Cat lovers seek affection, whereas dog lovers seek companionship. That one I could really relate to. Cat lovers seek affection, and dog lovers seek companionship. Also, cat lovers are sensitive, and they appear less assertive. It doesn't mean that they are. It just means they don't come off as assertive. This is where it gets a little fun. There are two groups of cat parents. There are those that own both dogs and cats, and there's those that only own cats. So the group that only owns cats is different than the rest of the group. So which type of cat parent are you? This is the first question that you're going to have to go left or right on. And this might actually be the hardest part. So if you like owning dogs and cats, even if you do not have a dog right now, but you like having a dog, and in the past you've had dogs, then you are a mainstream cat parent. But if you like just owning cats, and you are an only cat household, and you have never had a dog, you don't want to have a dog, you like just having cats and sort of the quietness of having cats, then you are considered a true cat parent. So what is the difference here? Well, mainstream cat parents, they're a category of pet owners. This is how the industry sort of looks at it. They have more characteristics closer to the dog lovers. That's the division. True cat parents are a subgroup of that mainstream cat parent category. So this group is different from dog people in that their characteristics and their need for product and services and their buying habits are different. They are their own unique market, which isn't understood by mainstream advertising and marketing yet. My clients fall into the true cat parent category. They are primarily women who are single, divorced, or widowed, and they rely on caregivers because they don't have a backup or family around. Some are married with no kids. True cat parents usually own only cats. Some of my best clients are mysterious, creative, and quirky, and most of my clients have a sense of humor. So, how can you know which type you really are? So in order to understand this better, we have to explore the 4 temperament types. Now we're going to explore the temperament types as it relates to cat parents. Exploring the 4 temperament types is really fun, and it shares a lot about who you are at your core. Wikipedia describes the four temperament theory, which was developed by Hippocrates, as a psychological theory which suggests that there are four fundamental personality types. There's the sanguine, the phlegmatic, the melancholic, and the choleric. For us to figure out what type of cat parent you are, we explore these types as they relate to cat parents. Keep in mind, we all have all of these four types, but one is usually dominant and one is the secondary. So you could have a very strong secondary that is closer to a true cat parent. So we'll see how this works. Starting with the sanguine cat parents. Sanguines are extroverted. They're carefree, they're social, they like to travel, they love adventure, and they're very creative people. They tend to have lots of cat toys of every kind in their home. They like their cats to have fun, and they like their cats to play around the house, and they're the most likely to purchase the newest cats products on the market. But they will take a while to set them up. They are considered mainstream cat parents only because they tend to also be dog lovers, even if they don't have a dog at that time, or they have had dogs in the past, but they can easily lean toward a true cat parent because it depends on their secondary type. Cat Toyland. Now, I want you to take a look at this slide. What we have here is a lot of cat toys. This is just a few cat toys because I know that there's a lot of cat toys that are out there on the market that are not even listed here in this slide. But if you have one of these cat tubes and you have feather toys, and if you happen to have a basket with a pile of cat toys, just like in the top right hand corner here, and I'm going to tell you, most of the people that have this, there's like one or two that squeak like a little bird. If this is you, you could possibly be a sanguine. The next type is the phlegmatic cat parent. They're relaxed and peaceful. They love connecting to people and animals. They're very kind and caring. They're intuitive. They're sensitive and affectionate with their cats. They love to snuggle with their cats, and they're really good caregivers. They tend to have a lot of cat beds and nookie spots all around the house. They tend to be a true cat parent more than any of the other types and are in the middle of the spectrum. It's important for them to know how the cats are feeling. They purchase new cat products after they give it some thought, and most of the items are related to comfort and care, and they usually have more than one cat. Cat comfort in quiet land. If you're looking at this slide and you see all these nookie spots and you have all these nookie spots around your house, if you take advantage of every little spot and put cat beds in them, if you have a cat bed that's sort of right by the window, or you have a really nice comforter that's super soft, maybe you have a heated cat bed, which I think are awesome. Cats love them and they're really great for senior kitties. And if you have one of these little caboodle cat beds, if this looks like your house, then it's very possible that you have either you are a dominant phlegmatic or you have a strong secondary phlegmatic. The next type is the melancholic cat parent. This type of personality can be very serious and they can appear detached. They can be direct and quiet, and they can appear inward. They can be very intelligent and analytical. This type connects on a deep level with their cats, but they may not have many toys for them. This type seems to be very orderly and they don't like clutter, and some lean towards minimalism in their home. This type usually has a few cat toys or none at all. They lean toward being a true cat parent at the end of the spectrum, and they tend to like to know how things are getting done around the house. Minimalistic lifestyle? Now let's take a look at this slide. If your house is clean and orderly and there aren't a lot of things around, Maybe you have a cat bowl, but you don't have really anything else. If you don't have any cat beds around, and look at this on the bottom left, there's a cat in a window. I have so many melancholic clients that have cats that love the window, and they will not get them a window hammock to make them more comfortable. A phlegmatic would get them a window hammock, and a type sanguine would buy a window hammock, but maybe not set it up right away. They might have it, but it takes time to set it up. So if your cat pretty much doesn't have that many cat toys, maybe they have one or two, and if they have a box as a bed or a nookie spot, and if this sort of looks like your house, you could potentially be a dominant melancholic, or you could have a strong secondary melancholic. And last but not least, this is the choleric cat parent. This type, they're very high energy, they're fast, they disconnect, and they're very busy. They love to play with their cats. They build things for their cats to climb all over and jump on. They're similar to sanguines, where they'll disconnect, but they tend to have dogs more than any other type, and they would be considered a mainstream cat parent. They could be attracted to dog-like cats. Rely more on your secondary if you're a choleric cat parent. Active cat, active life. Well, if you have a dog and you also have a cat, then you may be a choleric. And the only reason I say that is because most of the people I know, not all, this isn't like a definite thing here. This is sort of like we all have these different personality temperaments. So it really varies on your primary and secondary. But most of the people that I know that are cholerics have dogs. They're so high energy. They want to go do stuff with dogs, and they tend to just be more like dog people. The types that have cats, they tend to have a secondary that's either a melancholic or a phlegmatic. So they tend to kind of connect with the cats on that level. But I know a lot of clients that have very active dog-like cats. And I'm thinking of Abyssinians, and sometimes a lot of Maine Coon cats can be very, very active, and they're almost like a dog. So cats can have that temperament as well, and they can pair up with a choleric perfectly. It's really good to look at your secondary and see how this all plays out. And to recap, the true cat parent type and temperaments, I've made a chart. This is sort of like a sliding scale. On the left-hand side, we have the mainstream cat parents, and on the right side, we have the true cat parents. So the way I start is on the left, and I start with the choleric. This person is the most likely to own dogs in addition to cats. They tend to be mainstream cat parents. They are often attracted to high-energy dog-like cats. They have an active energy, and they tend to be extroverted. The next mainstream cat parent type is the sanguine, and this person wants to have fun. They have lots of cat toys. They may have had at some time dogs as pets in addition to cats, and their thought is the more the merrier. They tend to be mainstream cat parents. They have a very fun energy, and they're extroverted. Going towards the true cat parent segment of the industry is the phlegmatic. This person loves to provide comfort and care for their cats. They're in tune with their cats, and they know how they feel. They tend to have nookie beds around the house, and they tend to have only cats, and they are considered true cat parents. The melancholic is on the far right of the spectrum, and this person may seem quiet and direct at times. They love their cats deeply but privately. They tend to know, they like to know how things are getting done at the home. They tend to not have a lot of cat toys, and they are considered true cat parents. They have a low, steady energy, and they're introverted. So, what is your personality type? Are you a mainstream cat parent that has a sanguine or choleric temperament? Are you a true cat parent with a phlegmatic or melancholic temperament? Remember, you can have a primary and a secondary. You are a unique and wonderful person because you're a cat lover. To find out how your temperament type affects your number one need when hiring a cat sitter, check out my class, How to Find a Cat Sitter That Makes You Purr. If you have any questions or you're still trying to figure out your type, please send me an email. I would love to help you. Thank you so much and have a perfect day.